Pennsylvania. And in case you haven't heard, women in Pennsylvania love to party. The party is at the heart of what we do. And as you know, your hostesses have 3 ways to do it: face-to-face, catalog, and online. Tomorrow, you're going to hear more about building relationships online. But, sorry. But since the home party is the foundation of our party plan business, that's where we're going to focus today.
Each and every one of you has a why, as varied and as unique as you are. But there's also one thing that you all have in common. You bring the fun to the party. Today we're going to share with you ways that we make that fun fabulous. So Lisa, do you want to share a little bit about your 31 journey and how your initial plan didn't exactly go as planned?
I'd love to. So there's a saying, if plan A doesn't work, don't worry. There's 25 more letters in the alphabet. My plan A started back in 2010 when I joined 31. I joined to never do a home party. You heard that right. I never had any intentions of ever doing a home party. In fact, when I talked to my sponsor about joining, I flat out told her, those home parties, they are not my thing. So my plan in joining 31 was to share these really cute bags at some scrapbooking events that I attended and just collect orders. Yep, I was gonna be an order collector. It's pretty funny how God's plan is bigger than our pride or preference. Because what I didn't know was that although my plan was to be the self-proclaimed non-party girl, my scrapbooking friends, they had other plans. I will never forget when one of my friends asked me if I would do a party for her. Most consultants would be ecstatic that someone was asking them for a party. But I stood there staring at her like she was crazy. I had never even been to a 31 party. And remember, I didn't like parties. So I wasn't quite sure how I was going to pull this off. I remember every detail about that party. We played a simple game that I found online from a Tupperware lady called the left-right game. We laughed hysterically because I didn't know the names of any of the products. And I still don't know the names of some of those products. I barely knew my way around that catalog. And I'm pretty sure the ladies at that party did a better job explaining 31 than I did. But you know what? We had fun. I had fun. I was building relationships with these ladies without even knowing how important that was to my business. That night, my life changed forever, and I fell in love with the party. We had so much fun that night that 2 ladies at that party booked their own party, and well, as they say, the rest is history. So here I stand, 6 years later, and 394 parties later as the self-proclaimed party girl. So, do you want to hear how you can put the fun into your parties? Yeah. Megan's going to share how putting fun into her parties changed everything in her business.
Well, I started selling 31 back in June of 2011, and at that time I had no idea what I was doing. I had never hosted a 31 party or even been to one. I actually had never been to a single party for any company ever. I was so clueless, in fact, that when one of my friends said to me, "I didn't realize you were in direct sales," I said, "Oh no, I'm not. I sell 31. True story. Thank God I've come a long way since then. When I started out, I did so as a way to get out of the day-to-day substitute teaching world. I really just wanted to be able to stay at home with my little girls and be mommy, while also helping out somehow financially from home. You'd think that having a degree in education would make it easy for me to stand up in someone's living room and talk about our fabulous bags. But you guys, I was terrified. Teaching children is one thing, but having to speak in front of my peers is quite another, which makes it ironic that I'm talking in front of just a couple of you today. It actually took me 3 months to work up the courage, but at that point I decided to do my first home party. And you know what? I survived it. It was even a great party at just over $800, but it was just a party. I showed up, showed the products, took their orders, and I was out of there. I even made a point of telling them at the beginning that if they came expecting to play a bunch of cheesy icebreakers and games, that they came to the wrong place. Yeah, I did. Soon my why began to shift, and my party started to change when that why evolved. My why soon became a very real need to get out of the house and away from those same 3 sweet, darling, angelic little girls a few days a month, for my own sanity and for theirs too, I'm sure. Doing a 31 party became my way of getting out of the house, mommy guilt-free, because I was going to work and I was getting paid, even if it didn't involve hanging out with women, eating their buffalo chicken dip, and drinking their wine. It was also important to me that if I was getting out of the house, that it be a fun time, because I didn't get out much. So I started playing games at my parties, made them more interactive with tickets and fabulous prizes. And then I added themes, and that's the point that I really started to notice my business changing. People were booking parties at the party, and they were even joining my team from the party, because they were having fun too. I'm proud to say that in my 5 years with the company, I've averaged about $4,000 a month since the beginning, with my highest month being over 12 grand. And I only tell you that because if I can do this from a tiny town in Pennsylvania with 2 stoplights that you have never heard of, you can do it too. I attribute a lot of that to my home parties. And when you add a theme to the already 30 wonderful wow party experience, your parties really will be fun, fast, and truly fabulous.
It will. Thanks, Megan. So I'm sure there's many ladies here today who could probably relate to both of our stories. But as you all know, a 31 party is more than just a fun event. It's an experience, and the WOW Party format is the perfect place to start.
So we would love to share with you 4 fun party themes that every single one of you can incorporate into your fall selling season using the WOW Party experience.
All right, let's take a look.
Okay, so I